up guys, it's your favorite QB coach. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be doing another client before and after video. Particularly what we're going to be looking at is that early transition. How can I get this setting motion and how can I actually start hitting the golf ball much further? So without further ado, let's go do this thing. So welcome back to the channel guys. You guys are new to Kiwi Golf Japan. We do a bunch of videos like this every single week. So what you got to go do is hit that little red subscribe button. Smash the like button. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this clients before and after videos. And as always, hit that little bell notification. You guys are going to get notified every single time I drop a video. So like I said in the intro, this is going to be another client before and after video. And we're talking about that early transition, the setting motion. So let's go take a look at the before swing. I'm going to show you guys some key things that were happening that was actually causing this player to not get that early setting motion and then actually lose a lot of club head speed down there at the golf ball. Okay, so if we zoom in here, I really want you guys to focus on this wrist movement in transition. Watch to see if this client actually has some radial deviation or if he doesn't. So let's go take a look. So as we kind of get into this transition motion, what did you guys see the wrist do in this early transition? Well, I saw it have no radial deviation, right? So there's none of this setting motion, and he's actually not moving towards radial deviation in transition. Now, what does this really mean? Well, if this player is not moving towards radial deviation, or if he's not setting his wrist, he's actually not going to be optimizing his ability to generate club head speed because he's not actually creating levers, which then in turn, if you can unleash those levers at the correct time, that's going to get you that whipping motion, and that's actually going to get you a lot more club head speed. And as you can see here, he is not creating any of that in transition, and he actually looks like what I like to call a wooden man, right? So he has no radial deviation, he has no setting motion, hence he's not going to be able to create a whole lot of club head speed down there at impact. So now, another key little thing to think about with this setting motion before we show you the after swing is how much is too much? Because I've actually had clients who do have too much setting motion, and really they get to the point where the club shaft is almost hitting their back, and that's going to be too much radial deviation, and that's probably going to lead you to not be able to actually get the optimal amount of club head speed as well. There's actually a range, right? You don't want to have too much, that's actually going to lose you some speed, and if you have none, that's actually going to lose you some speed. Now, if you're going to err towards the side, having a little bit too much is going to get you more speed than having none. However, at the same time, it's still not optimal. So again, I want to give you guys some really specific parameters here, and we're going to show you the after swing so you can kind of see those parameters. Okay, so let's go zoom in and take a look at the after swing here. So as he goes into this transition, you can now see that there's a little bit of radial deviation or a little bit of this setting motion in early transition. So if you want to check to see if you have too much or too little, really the checkpoint is going to be right around position 5 right here, and it's going to be the angle that you're creating with the club shaft. To draw this, again, you just want to draw an angle on the club shaft as best as you can. Now I know the club shaft is kind of bending in this zone, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. However, you can get a rough estimate to kind of what's going down here, and this client's roughly right around 81 degrees, right? So for me, I feel like that's a pretty good range. Now you're probably asking yourself, hey QB coach, how much do I need to do, or how much of the setting do I need to do to get to that 81 degrees? So let me answer that in this next part. So the amount of radial deviation or the amount of setting that you need to do to kind of get to this 81 degree number at position 5 is really relative to kind of what club shaft position you have at the top of the swing. And let me kind of explain here. So if I'm at the top of the swing and I already have a lot of radial deviation, that would be almost looking like an overswing, or if the club shaft is parallel to the ground, you're probably not going to have to add on as much radial deviation to get to that 81 degree, right? You're almost going to feel like you have to just maintain it and actually not increase it. However, if you have maybe more so like this player who has a little bit more of almost an ulnar deviated position 4, then yes, you're obviously going to have to add a little bit more of that setting motion. Now, in my personal opinion, what I like to see is if a player is close to around that 90 degree range at the top of the swing, if they have about 9 degrees of radial deviation, I feel like that's a pretty good range. I don't like to see players too heavily radial deviated or too heavily ulnar deviated at the top of swing, because again, I don't want to see them have to do too much or too little. We're trying to make things kind of simple and easy to do. So far, I hope to have answered some of the questions of, hey QB coach, what is kind of the setting motion, as well as what are some specific parameters of the setting motion in your golf swing so you guys can actually start utilizing this to get more speed. Now, if you guys want some more information or some more checkpoints, I want you guys to go check out some links down below. We actually have webinar recordings for P1 through P10 for irons and drivers, so you can actually see a little bit more checkpoints that we talk about typically in our lessons. However, the best is always to obviously take a lesson from me. So if you guys are near Osaka, Yokohama, or Tsukuba, I want you guys to come take a lesson from me. If you're not, however, check out those webinar recordings. I think that they'll at least get you going down the right path. Now, for you instructors out there, if you see actually a similar motion in your clients' golf swings and you're struggling to actually change your clients' golf swings, I want you to go check out my Kiwi Coach shadowing program. You actually could have been watching this whole lesson live via Zoom or physically in person, and you can actually see the steps and the processes that we take to change your clients' golf swings like this. So again, if you're an instructor out there, if you're struggling to change your clients' golf swings and you see a similar golf swing that your client has in one of these videos, I want you guys to go check out that Kiwi Coach shadowing program. There'll be a link down below. There's a bunch of great information. I hope to see you guys in my lessons. Last, for everyone else, there is my Flight Scope rental program. Again, I've been talking a lot about ball flight laws on this channel. We're going to continue to talk about ball flight laws on this channel. And if you want to actually track your ball flight laws and actually see what you're currently doing, you got to go check out that Flight Scope rental program. You can rent out my Flight Scope, which is pretty much a TrackMan. It does the same thing. And you can actually have an iPad that we give you, as well as there's some videos on our YouTube channel on how to use the Flight Scope effectively so you can actually practice correct. So if you want to actually check that out, there'll be a link down below. For everyone else, make sure like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.